Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. By the way, you can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com. Send an email if you have any ideas for shows, because this show is actually about you. You're the boss. So you tell us what we can talk about. A lot of it, AP Steadham, is beginning to be about farming and sports. So we have AP Steadham with us right now. He's our go-to guy for sports. How's everything going this weekend?
Hey, pretty good, Donna. Pretty good. The basketball's in full season, Donna. They're knocking each other off all the time in the Southeastern Conference. So there were some big games this weekend. Auburn hosted Kentucky, and Kentucky's been up and down this season, but they had a good defensive effort and held Auburn to a low score, and they were able to win on the road. So that was a big victory for the Wildcats over the Auburn Tigers this weekend. So that was a huge game. But the teams there's a lot of good teams in the Southeastern Conference, and I suspect they're going to have, half a dozen or so in the NCAA tournament. And that's what matters.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you, it's really getting exciting right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the teams, Auburn, good basketball team, good record. They're still, rated in the top 25, looking at number 13 at the present, but that might change a little bit. But, Alabama put another 100 points on the board, that is a huge figure down in basketball. 100 points. I think they've done it 10 times now or something like that. The school records are setting scoring points, so they're tough to stop. Alabama's got a good basketball team, but they've developed over time down it. They didn't have a good non-conference run, because they lost about 5 games to some of the top teams on their non-conference schedule. But in the conference, they're number 1 right now, sitting at 10-2 with the victories in the conference, 18-7 overall. So they've got a very good team, and Tennessee's chasing them, and South Carolina, Auburn, Kentucky, Florida, and Ole Miss. Those are the top teams in the conference at the moment. But in the top 25, Donnie, you have Tennessee is the top at number 8, South Carolina 11, Auburn 13, Alabama 15, Kentucky 22. But that might change when the polls are come out this week. But I'm still impressed with the SEC basketball, and I hope somebody's going to make a run to that Final Four. We're hoping for one of those teams to be in the Final Four, if not 2.
Yeah, I hope more, of course. So
Yes.
Doug sent a comment, and it was about, it's easier, it seems, to predict the outcome of a football game than it is and who's going to be in the top 10 rather than basketball. Why is it that basketball fluctuates so much?
That is an excellent point, Don. Excellent point. Yeah, 1 minute you're beating the top team in basketball, and the next team you're losing to somebody who's in the middle of the road of the conference, or maybe even below. And it really is because of the shooting percentages. Normally you have a hot night and you win the game, or you're shooting below your average and you're having a difficult time, but the team is shooting maybe the best of the season, and they're able to pull out the victory. Because in basketball, Donna, like I say, I always try to preference my remarks, ball in the basket. That's the most important thing, Donna. Getting the ball in the basket, shooting. We've seen, just to give an example, Auburn this weekend, they couldn't score a lot of points. They were having a tough time. Kentucky's defense was excellent. And plus, maybe your shooters are off that day, and they're playing at home. Auburn is very difficult to beat at home, but Kentucky wound up on the right side of the score for the Wildcats. So to answer this question, it's really the shooting percentages affects the score dramatically. And in football, you're pretty consistent with your defense usually, and you're able to run the football consistently. So that affects the scores in football. And passing in that day is kind of like basketball. You might have a hot passer that day, but in football, yeah, it is a little bit easier to predict because of the strength of your team and speed of your team that holds form usually on game day.
Mm-hmm. I don't gamble anyway, but I would definitely not gamble on basketball. I would be more likely with football.
Probably so, Donna. Yeah, that basketball, you just can never tell on that day. The shooters are hot, and somebody could come off the bench down with 20 points, hadn't scored 20 points in their life, and they could be out that day. And in football, you just don't see somebody coming off the bench normally with 3-4 touchdowns, let's say. In basketball, they could have a hot day, 25. I've seen guys have 30 points, never scored 30 points in their life down it. And one day they scored 30 points in a game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a great point. And then another thing about football, your kicker, you've talked about that several times. A lot of times the kicker is the hero.
Yeah, if your kicker that day is having a bad afternoon, you're depending on that person, and they can't make the field goals. Or and also, you could have a hot kicker make 4 or 5 field goals, and that contributes to the win.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, there's so many variables out there. And then women's basketball is getting more popular as well, according to Amy here.
Oh, yeah, the women's basketball, South Carolina is undefeated, very good team. LSU is the other team in the conference that's ranked. South Carolina, if they can be fairly consistent all the way through the tournament, they're gonna make it to the Final Four minimum, I believe. Somebody's going to have to, like last year, what happened down there, they played Iowa, and Caitlin Clark scored 41 points against them. She was hot that day. They just couldn't stop her. So they lost, but they probably should have won the championship. LSU ended up winning, but South Carolina had beaten them by double digits during the season. If South Carolina reached the finals, I think they would have won. But they ran into a hot Iowa team with Caitlin Clark. She set the record all-time scorer now in women's basketball. But I think South Carolina women this year, I believe they're going to be in the Final Four. I really do.
And we're talking a little bit diversity, not anything like mind-boggling, but I also have, this is from Rachel. And so she said the odds are, we're talking basketball versus football for some reason today.
Okay.
And so her thing was that odds are you would have a woman playing on a man's team in basketball more so than you would football. That's not really a diversity question. We're just going by the odds. Right.
Yeah, I would say so. I hope that doesn't happen. I like to see the women have their team and men have their team. That's the way I feel about it. I mean, in football, women don't have a team in college. Mm-hmm. So there's only one outlet. But in basketball, men have their team, women have their team. Women at the present time have 15 scholarships. The men have 13 because the women, there's a tendency to either get hurt with their knees for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but you're trying to balance the scholarship level. So the men have just the 13 and women have the 15. So, but I hope they keep it separate because I like watching. I've been watching women's basketball a very long time, Donna. Very long time. My first Final Four in women was 1994, actually, that I attended. Yeah. It was in Richmond, Virginia, and Alabama played Louisiana Tech, and North Carolina played, I think it was Purdue at that time. North Carolina ended up being Louisiana Tech for the championship on a last second 3-pointer. Really, it was a great tournament. I really enjoyed being there.
I'm with you, and I think Rachel was probably with you on that as well. But I did want to mention this. So Phil's mother, my husband's mother, very tall. I think she was like 5'11". And back in the day, back in the 40s, she played basketball.
Very tall, yes.
Here was very good at it. So there's a lot of really, really good women basketball players out there. But there were some states, Donna, years ago. I know Iowa was popular with women's basketball. Tennessee, I think Arkansas, Texas, I think. They were probably ahead of their time with women's basketball. I'm not sure the other states, but I recollect that those states had women's basketball, and it was popular for people to sell out the arenas, and it was a sport that was prevalent. Whereas some of the other states, it took them a while before Title IX arrived. I think that was when Title IX 72, I think it was, something like that. But I've always liked women's basketball, and I've watched it for many, many years. And they're very talented. They can shoot from almost half court down. They're making shots, and they're skilled. They're dribbling the ball, passing the ball. They're getting stronger, faster, and the game has improved tremendously in the last 2 decades. You got a lot of questions this week. By the way, if you have questions, again, or ideas for shows, and you would love for AP to answer some questions for you, all you have to do is send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. And that'll take really good care of that as well. So the next question was actually pertaining also to basketball. And are you seeing, and this is from, let me find it, Tim. Okay, so Tim sends a question about exercise. Are the exercises different for basketball other than football? I mean, because you have different strengths that you need to gain from different parts of your body. So I understand that question.
Right. The exercises in football, you're probably trying to develop a little bit more mass in your body. Whereas basketball, you want to be lean, but you also want to be strong and explosive, be able to jump. You have that quickness, that explosion that you need in basketball to play defense, to get the rebounds, to dribble past your defender. In football, like I said, you're trying to put on just a little bit more mass. And it just depends. Some coaches, Donna, they want, let's say, their offensive lineman way above 300. Some coaches like a lineman at 300 pounds. I mean, that's the normal size now, 300 pounds for a lineman, and that's what it's reached right now. 300-pound lineman, that's the average.
All he's got to do is fall on you. All he's got to do is fall on you.
Almost. But yeah, it's some different exercises. You're getting that power in your legs in football at the line of attack, especially on the offensive line, defensive line, and in basketball, you want to have length. I mean, that's something you're born with those dimensions, but you want to be lean and strong, and you want to have quickness, because in basketball, you're on the court, you're trying to beat your defender all the time. You're trying to defend a fast player, so you need to be quick and have explosion.
And I would think also your upper arms, you would really need to be able to. You got to have strength, so you can really get the ball in there.
In football, you're probably going to be lifting more pounds probably on certain exercises. Whereas basketball, you need the strength to shoot, and you need the flexibility. In all sports, you need flexibility, but in basketball especially, because you're moving your body on every play, guarding and defending, and those types of things.
Absolutely. We're going to have to go into a commercial break. And it's like I tell our sponsors all the time, we have the best watchers and listeners. They're the best. They get involved in all of our shows. So let's go into a commercial break, and we shall return in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park, and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring.
but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain-fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
My Towels solved a problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
MyPillow.com.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Back from commercial break. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Age on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast where truth matters. You can find the podcast on thenewscasters.com. The name of the podcast is The Newscasters Studio. So I'm really proud to be part of that as well. Thank you again so much for watching Monday through Friday. If you have any ideas for shows, again, this is your show. Okay, you're the boss of me. You tell me what to do. Even Phil doesn't do that. But anyway, if you have ideas for shows or you'd like me to do a little research, I love that as well. You can send an email to Donna@donnasedge.com. Any questions for AP? Same address, Donna@donnasedge.com. AP Steadham is with me right now. AP is everyone's favorite. I don't care who says this. Everybody loves AP because AP, I would think if someone cut your wrist, nothing but sports would come out. Is that true?
Maybe so. I think you're not the only person that believes that statement.
I believe it. You remind me of my son and my brother. I promise you, they love sports. It's just all about sports. Now, there's also another show folks like to watch right here on IC Radio, and that's AP and Kelly As We See It. So you've had a lot of really good guests on.
Yeah, we do, Donna, and we're so proud to be on IC Radio every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, right here, IC Radio, 4 p.m. Central, AP and Kelly As We See It. That's capital S, capital E, capital C for Southeastern Conference, and we give our thoughts, analysis, and opinions. But we had some good guests last week. David Cloninger is a friend of mine from the Post and Courier out of Charleston. So South Carolina basketball, men's and women's, is on fire. So we discussed a little bit of those, a little bit of that, and also the football team as well. So David was our guest, and we had Gary Graves from the Associated Press to speak about Kentucky. Kentucky basketball is making a bit of a comeback, and some about Kentucky football as well. So those were our two guests last week, and we always have fun. We try to keep on top of all the teams. So each week maybe we might feature a couple of teams. And so last week was South Carolina and Kentucky. And so those were our two guests, David Cloninger and Gary Graves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something, and we're talking about AP and Kelly As We See It. So Roger sent just a question about Kelly. Could you give us a little bit of her background?
Yeah, Kelly's from Detroit, Michigan. She's a big Michigan fan in Kansas City. She loves the Kansas City Chiefs. So she's on a hot streak, Donna. Her two teams winning the national championship and the Super Bowl. And she graduated from Wayne State. She's been a journalist on TV and radio over 20 years. And she's a lot of fun. And we just have a good time discussing sports and giving our opinions and our observations. And so I'm glad to have her as part of this show.
Mm-hmm. You know, something, I didn't think I would like anybody any better than Jane Kennedy back in the day. But I'll have to tell you, she got it going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like I said, we had Jane Kennedy on the show. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, Kelly, she keeps me sharp, and I always encouraged various opinions, Donna, because I think it'd be boring if it was just my opinion or just somebody like me. So Kelly's, she's very good, and she's on the radio here in Mobile, and so we're glad to have her, and we have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it's just, it fits. I mean, it just absolutely works out. So let's talk about this coming week. Who do you think you're going to have on the show this week, or do you have that scheduled yet?
Yeah, having the schedule, but I want to continue with the basketball, Donna, because it's hot.
Yeah.
We always talk about the football. We always talk about football too. Last week, for instance, Donna, there seems to be a big concern with administrative people on the collegiate level about coaches leaving to go to the pros, and I just voiced my opinion. I said, look, if somebody leaves to go to the pros, they have their reason. It happened through the years, but it's more prolific now. But that gives somebody else a chance, another chance, a younger coach. So I don't have any issue with coaches leaving the profession on the collegiate level to go to the pros, because that happens. Maybe they have a dream to coach on that level, and they don't have to recruit. They just coach the football. But there's other issues in pro football as well. When you have the players making 10 times your salary, maybe as an assistant, you have to be able to coach them and manage that ego. So there's other issues on that level as well. But I'm not upset about coaches leaving, because there's always opportunities down. When you have so much money, so especially in the Southeastern Conference, you're going to attract good talent to coach your teams. So I wouldn't worry if I was an administrator. I wish them well, and just you bring in more talent. That's all. I mean, I don't think the college level should build a fence around their coaches so they won't leave. You're going to get plenty of talent with that level of money that's paid to assistant coaches. You're going to attract some quality people.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Anybody's going to want to go for their better of their own self, and I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, that happens all the time. So I mean, it's a little bit stronger now because they have these new rules with the name, image, and likeness, the transfer rule. Some coaches prefer not to manage those situations, and they think, okay, I'm going to go to the pros. But like I said, there's other issues on the pro level.
I totally agree with that too. Now, on the basketball level, you're looking at coaches right now. Who is somebody who's just really expanded it and just really shown out this year?
Yeah, that's South Carolina, Donna. I mean, we discussed it on our show. Donna, they were picked last in the league, on the men's side, last, and here they are near the top.
Underdog.
They're fighting to. I mean, that is. I'm trying to remember in the Southeastern Conference when a team was picked last, and they're in contention to win the conference. I can't remember that on the women's side or the men's side. So Lamont Parrish of South Carolina has done a fantastic job with his team. Over 20 wins right now. Had some big victories over Kentucky, and so they're a strong team. And the big surprise, the South Carolina people, they've got to be so happy with their basketball programs right now. Both of their coaches, Dawn Staley on the women's side, we know she's a tremendous coach, won national championships, and she's on her way to maybe winning another national championship. But that South Carolina on the men's side, that is a fantastic surprise for them in the league as well.
I think it's absolutely awesome. There's something about being the underdog, and when you can get that momentum going, and then you get your fans all out there. You're unstoppable if you can just get it going. And then you start. Yeah,
it's amazing what they've done. Yeah. I mean, Don, they have, I think, 21 victories right now. It is unbelievable to be projected for the bottom of the league. 14 teams. You're number 14. Here you are near the first, second, or third. You're in contention to win the league. It could happen, and that'd probably be the biggest turnaround in the SEC, I think, of all time. Has to be.
Yeah, and that's basketball and football. I mean, that's
it's not a manpower sport, Donna. So you can attract some players on your roster and turn around your program in one season very quickly in basketball. Football, with this transfer portal, you can as well, but you need a tremendous amount of players, double digits, to have that big of a turnaround. But in basketball, just a handful. But I'm really happy for South Carolina, both the men's and the women. Unbelievable. They're having so much fun.
Especially like we talked about at the first of the show, especially since basketball is so unpredictable. I mean, you just don't know. So what do you think, if you could only pick one thing, what made their success this year?
Yeah, I think it's the talent, Donna. You need talent to be competitive. And the coach was able to acquire all this talent and build that roster. And that's the difference, because in basketball, Donna, on any given night, your shooters are going to have difficulty. So your main scorers, they're going to be reaching the double figures usually, but they're going to have their difficult nights. So you need a well-rounded roster, to people that can make shots. So he's done a tremendous job with the roster. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? 30 seconds left in this segment. Look how fast it goes. What would you like to say before you leave?
Yeah, just continue to watch all this basketball and enjoy it in the SEC on the men's and the women's side. And we're getting close to the March Madness, and the Final Four will be in Phoenix. And the SEC tournament will be coming up in Nashville in mid-March. So let's have some fun with the round ball.
Absolutely. AP, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Tom. My pleasure as well.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time with another awesome guest.